wanted a piece of the blame, and
they fought over
trying to find the solution.
Fought over who was to blame for that one.
You gotta call, hold on.
Good self-scouting, I guess. But yeah, Ricky Foley likes it.
Second and short, steal again. Flag comes down. He would have had a first down.
Had a good conversation with Rich Stubler before the game as well, and you know, on a personal level, great to see him. He said to me he feels in great shape. Lost about 70 pounds. Had his
holding Saskatchewan number 67, 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's the center, Dan Clark, a costly call that takes a first down away and backs them up 10.
Had his hip surgery, feels good, can walk up and down that sideline. Said that the guys are going to come together. They've got athletically the pieces he wants back there. A guy like Keon Raymond can help bring them together quickly. A veteran that has worked with Stubler before.
He loves golf at 66. If he lost 70, he lost his age, which is pretty good if you're a golfer. And Roosevelt with a catch at the first down stick, but another flag and another one coming back.
Xavier Fulton's got his hands in the air like he's
holding
the guilty party.
Saskatchewan number 68, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, they called Thaddeus Coleman. Let's take a look. It was Fulton looked very guilty. That Coleman's at the top, and oh yeah, Chris Jones just showed you in the playbook how you can't keep your hands on the outside as an offensive lineman. They got to be inside on the shoulder pad plates on the chest, or else you're going to get called for holding.
Back-to-back first down plays negated by holding calls, and now it's second and a bunch, second and 21. And they throw the screen of Rob Bagg. It's picked off there by Xavier Fulton on the ricochet after Rob Bagg was cranked by Brian Hall.
Well, and I meant the playbook was Chris Schultz, our guy, not Chris Jones. But here's Fulton. He ends up with the ball in his hands.
So Durant's got a catch. Fulton's got a catch.
Pop
Rob
right
Bagg
in the middle.
Might have a headache. So Taylor drops back. Bartell to boot. And Taylor will let this one hit the carpet, bouncing around there. 52-yard punt after the roll. And now Taylor gets a block and found the edge and tight ropes down for an extra yard or two. They're going to mark him, though, back at the 43. Ricky Ray goes back on offense with an 11-point lead. Third home game ever at Mosaic. Started playing football here in 1910. Grandstand up in 1936. Over 100 years of football, but the last 10-15 years have been pretty remarkable, haven't they? The atmosphere here at this stadium is
lots of memories.
Else.
Yeah, lots of memories. And you know, I'll start by just the broad and sort of vague every Labor Day game here in Saskatchewan special.
Of course, the night they'll remember more fondly than any, the 2013 Grey Cup game. And Hope Springs Eternal that this year will be much different than last. Argo started their own 43. Brandon Whitaker's got it. Up to the 48, close to 5.
You mentioned how optimistic this fan base is and high expectations on this guy, and there's a good reason for it. In the 14 years of coaching in the Canadian Football League, he's been in the Grey Cup 7 times as a coach, sometimes an assistant or coordinator. Of course, last year, Grey Cup champion Edmonton Eskimos. Only twice has he been out of the division final as a coach in the 14 years in the CFL.
Second and 4. Good protection and a drop from Hazelton. Otha Foster, the former Eskimo, was around there, but a couple of drops for Hazelton tonight.
Strict fundamentals there for Vidal Hazelton, who tried to take a peek where he was going to run before he caught the ball, just before it arrived. Look it in, secure the catch, then turn, and you'll see a little, well, you lost him behind a teammate, but a little peek early cost him the catch.
Just the second 2 and out of the night for Toronto. Iralahu against a light breeze, hangs it up. Dembski after a 40-yard punt, and the Argos will be pleased with their special teams tonight after a rough opener against Hamilton. Walker and Urachuk the tackles.
Fan base looking to see if Darian Durant can regain the form of that 2013 year you're talking about, Chris, and the Grey Cup championship against Hamilton at home. A couple of TD throws to Superman, G. Simon. Over 4,000 yards passing that year for Darian Durant. It was quite the playoff run for the Riders starting quarterback against BC, against Calgary, and then Hamilton in the Cup.
Spencer Moore in to help block and protect for Durant, who gets flushed. Anybody home? Dumps it off to Roosevelt, and a game tackle led by Justin Hickman there. 6 for Roosevelt.
I think in the time I've been involved with this league, maybe the best performance by a quarterback I've seen through the playoffs and Grey Cup combined. When you look at the 8 touchdown passes, not 1 interception, the semifinal and West Final against Calgary, almost 800 yards passing, almost 150 yards rushing, over 100 against the BC Lions in that semifinal. It was quite a run by number 4 in 13.
Kwasi Owusu-Ansah cramping up a little bit, and Scott Shannon out to attend to him. Lee Jones has already mentioned a couple of injuries in that secondary tonight, with Joe Rinkin out of the game early, and Jermaine Gabriel's been sidelined again.
I don't know if your depth chart reads the same, but they're running out of DBs.
I know you can't read my depth chart.
No, I can't. No, I don't know how you read that scribble.
Well, you've got a guy like Keon Raymond, though, who is
absolutely
a guy who can likely drop back in to the secondary. Brandon Isaac can take his Sam linebacker spot. And that is one of the characteristics of the Canadian Football League. You're a lot more valuable if you can play multiple positions.
Keon Raymond going right over to take a look at Owusu-Ansah and talk to Brandon Isaac. Brandon Isaac would take Keon Raymond's spot. Now, he's got to go off for at least 3 plays. But the veteran Isaac backs up Keon Raymond, so he takes Raymond's spot. And Raymond, will he bump out to corner, or will they make another adjustment back there? We'll see when they break this huddle.
Argos start the season without their other starting corner, A.J. Jefferson, who had a knee scoped in training camp. Might not be out for the first 6 weeks, but is on the 6-game DL as of now.
See Keon Raymond, Chris, walk with Owusu-Ansah and ask him, is this going to be a long-term thing? Are you okay? Are you going to be back soon? It looks like he'll be back right away. He'll have to sit on a couple plays here, but it's like Raymond will play inside.
Josh Mitchell goes to the corner, and 2nd and 5 Roughriders at the 30. Cam Walker was leading, and the flags do fly. Ball batted down. Robertson got his hand on the football.
Yeah, I saw Shamad Chambers at wide receiver fall out of his stance too. Looked like he might have moved as well. Not sure who moved first.
Cam Walker was leading, and the fans were encouraging the flag to be thrown, so let's see which way it goes.
Offside, Saskatchewan. Penalties decline, 3rd down.
So it was against the Roughriders, and the Saskatchewan punt team has to come on.
Yeah, Shamad Chambers is the wide receiver right up here, and watch how he falls out of his stance here. Just in that 2-point, and then whoop, into the neutral zone. Looks to the official, who immediately threw the flag.
5th 2 and out of the night. 90 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Good boot to Taylor at his 28. Levi Noel had his man tied up, and Looked like he had a hold on Otha Foster, no flag, and Ricky Ray leads the offense back out, and he had 93 yards in the opening 2 possessions. Has found the going a lot tougher against this Rider defense since.
Well, it was a fast break in the first quarter. A lot of open receivers all over the field, and it made some big plays to rack up almost 100 yards in that quarter. You know, he ended up with almost 300 yards passing in a game that he admitted, and he said yesterday, wasn't a very good game. Marcus Brady looking at the big screen here as they place the football.
Argos watched a lot of Edmonton Eskimo film this week in preparation with a new-look Saskatchewan Roughrider defense. They just reviewed the tendencies of Chris Jones and admitted even that doesn't usually help. Pressure on, Ray, and a sidearm to the way, incomplete. He intended over there for Torrey Gurley, who was being watched by Justin Cox.
Missed block. AC Leonard comes off the edge in a hurry, and there's a missed block off the top. Phil Bates.
The 2nd and 10. Better protection, and a pass is caught. Kenny Shaw with the catch and a first down into Rough Rider territory. Shaw with 7 catches, 109 yards last week. One of 6 100-yard receivers in week 1.
Good players don't struggle back to back. They make the adjustments, and they figured out a little chip there to help. Great protection up front. Ray's allowed to step up with no one in his face, deliver a strike to Kenny Shaw.
23-yard gain. Final play. Firing a penalty here in the 3rd quarter. Bates stays in the block. Handoff Anthony Coombs. And Coombs surges down to around the 44 and has 6. So the Argos have the lead, an 11-point advantage, and have the football. We've hit 3-quarter time in the season opener and the final home opener at Mosaic. 24-13 Toronto.
Turnovers, pretty even game offensively, defensively. Big plays by both teams at times. Good defense at both teams at times. Short yardage an issue for Saskatchewan that had led to the 14 points and the 2 turnovers. That short yardage to stop, and then the Matt Black scoop and score.
Yeah, you'd think 3rd and 1 would be automatic, but it's not. And in fact, it's the reason those 14 points were scored.
Yeah, that last yard, whether you're trying to get a first down or a touchdown from the 1-yard line, that last yard feels like a mile sometimes. And it's been a bit of an issue for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And it has been around the league a little bit in the early going. The Argos weren't good in short yardage situations last week. Calgary Stampeders had some trouble in BC. That big Lion goal line stand that helped trigger a comeback. So we start the 4th, and Ray to work. A little double clutch there, and the pass is incomplete over the middle, intended for Whitaker.
Former Toronto Argonaut Greg Jones, I mentioned, with 5 tackles in the first half, and when the defensive players in this game on both sides have stepped up and made some plays, it started at the linebacker position.
2-time All-American at Michigan State, the Argo top defensive player last year, and now a 50-yard attempt for Hiralahu. Hit from 51 last week. And he starts this one out on target and through. Little breeze in his back. And the lead is now 14.
An inconsistent season for Hiralahu. And he steps into it, was 2 for 2 in game 1 and nails a long one.
So a bounce-back season, it would appear, has begun for Hiralahu. (27-13) as the Roughriders scrimmage for the first time in the fourth quarter. Curtis Steele running room up the middle again, and a first down. As Steele runs for 11.
Rich Dubler's defense, I'm not surprised to see Saskatchewan run a little. Look at the gaps they have between their D linemen. Their interior guys, the tackles, got a good spread, and then you go to the outside, and Hickman and Ricky Foley way outside off the edge. So I'm not surprised at all to see Saskatchewan actually attack some of those gaps with the run game in Curtis Steele.
Ninth carry, 60 yards for Steele and a first down. Now Durant looking downfield, and that one overshoots the intended target, Naaman Roosevelt, but a flag comes down. Step for step was Aaron Berry, and maybe he had a hand on the hip, and the flag flies.
Double move by Naaman Roosevelt. When it was live, I didn't really see any illegal contact or pass interference move by Aaron Berry. We'll take another look at it.
See if the Argos challenge that.
Berry wants
Holding. Toronto, number 33. This is a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So it's a holding call, which is unusual.
holding illegal contact, but the ball's thrown to Naaman Roosevelt. And I don't see any holding there at all. If I'm Scott Milenovich, I may challenge that.
Doesn't look like he's going to. And we play on. And Durant loads it up again for Roosevelt. Comes back for it. And another flag flies.
Now,
was the catch made?
More contact there.
And Berry suggesting offensive pass interference.
Now, more contact on that play and kind of pushing and shoving and pulling than there was in the
offensive pass interference. Saskatchewan number 82. Penalties decline. Second down.
Yeah, it looked like Naaman Roosevelt may have used the turf to help him with that catch as well.
So those two have their own personal battle going on here. Back-to-back plays. Wondered about that armbar from Aaron Berry and whether that would.
I don't think there should have been flags on either play, to be quite honest.
Spoken like a veteran defensive back, but
the other one was on offense. Yeah.
Pass for Bag, and he's got it. Couple of Kingston guys isolated on each other. Corey Greenwood and Rob Bag.
Well, Corey Greenwood is an all-star linebacker, but you gotta like the matchup for Saskatchewan Roughrider fans, because Rob Bag on a one-on-one on a linebacker's got to win that battle. I mean, that's a receiver against linebacker in coverage and in space. And I say that talking very highly about Corey Greenwood.
Got an injured Saskatchewan Roughrider offensive lineman, Thaddeus Coleman. News on the offensive line this week. In fact, yesterday in Saskatchewan.
Yes.
So Coleman down, and the #1 draft pick in the Canadian Football League, Josiah St. John, has finally come to terms with the Roughriders and has made his way to Saskatchewan.
No official announcement just yet, but yeah, he is in town. Josiah St. John, the #1 pick overall in the Canadian College Draft this year, was holding out. There he is, down on the sideline. Contract negotiations. The Saskatchewan Roughriders decided they were at their limit, and there are rumors at this point, but all the reports and discussion in that he took a little bit less money, but wanted to get back in that locker room and start to earn the respect of his teammates. I think it's a good decision by Josiah St. John to go ahead and sign a contract, get in the starting lineup eventually, and then there's money to be made. Can play tackle, could play guard. He's a good football player.
Well, Chris Jones has to alter his offensive line for the next play as Coleman comes off. And it's interesting because it's Hassan Azimi Free agent signing from Hamilton and a long-time defensive lineman who has been converted to the other side of the football by Chris Jones. And a pass in the flat, incomplete, intended for Collins.
Oh, and they loaded up right on Hassan Hazimi as well to try and test him.
You can see Brendan Labatt's moved out to right tackle. There's
exactly. And Hazimi inside, and they try and run a stunt immediately.
So that's triggered 3 different moves. Labatt to right tackle, Hazimi to right guard, and Andrew Jones to left guard on 1 injury. 2nd and 10. Durant hit, but he gets it away. Roosevelt has a big Rough Rider first down at the Argo 28. 7th catch of the night for Naaman Roosevelt.
Well, good news for Scott Milenovich and the Argos is Akwazi Ansuansa is back in the lineup, and he was in coverage on Naaman Roosevelt on that dig route.
So Roosevelt, a Buffalo native, played college football at Buffalo, played with the Buffalo Bills. 7th catch, over 100 on the night. Riders trying to close the gap. 1st and 10. Durant to the end zone, floating it up, incomplete. John Childs, the intended target, Owusu-Ansah knocking it away, and Durant was hit as he threw and left that one floating up there a little too long.
Yeah, Owusu-Ansah makes the play. I'm not even sure it was his man. He just, the ball up in the air and hanging there. When Durant felt the pressure, he just recovered and helped his teammate out.
Second and 10. Rush extras. They threw the screen. It's incomplete. As the pressure got to Durant and that ball deflected. Looked like Corey Greenwood might have got a hand on it. So the field goal team will come on. Still enough time to not be in a gambling mood here unless something's on. But most likely a 35-yard attempt for Krapina. It's good. And the Argo lead is 27-16. Just over 4 minutes gone in the 4th quarter here at Mosaic. 157th Queens Plate returns on Sunday. Coverage begins 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on TSN2 and CTV. Canadian Triple Crown broadcast brought to you by OLG and Ontario Racing. Just the start of a Canada Day long weekend. Argos football. Brandon Whitaker cuts it back near side. And he is pushed out just over the 40.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
9th carry, 40 yards for Brandon Whitaker. 5 on that. It's 2nd and 5 Toronto. Second half.